constitutional attorney, former candidate for Attorney General David Shestokas. Before we obviously end the show here, which we have to, I'd love to do another hour's worth because I know we could probably fill that and would extend some of these topics a little bit. But you have the Second Amendment issue that's before not only the federal Supreme Court, but you have the state Supreme Court hearing out these cases. What do you make of it? What do you see happening? And then I want to also ask you about the Arizona case with Kari Lake.
The Second Amendment cases here in Illinois, I'm not personally involved, except to the extent that I've had some discussion with my good friend Dan Calkins, who is the prime plaintiff in the case coming up before the Illinois Supreme Court. And there's good reason to believe that even if the Illinois Supremes do not hold this assault, what they call assault weapons bans, they're really good at the language,
Yeah.
The workers' rights assault weapons ban.
Yeah.
Like actual laws are. But at any rate, there's reason to be optimistic that those restrictions on Illinois Second Amendment rights will not stand.
Yeah.
And so, but in terms of Arizona, we're getting more and more optimistic about that. I mentioned earlier about our case in Will County. One of our witnesses and our testimonial experts is a fellow by the name of Dr. Walter Doherty, and Dr. Doherty is also one of the experts involved in the Kari Lake matters out in Arizona. So based on my conversations with Dr. Doherty and other things like that, they're not going to give up in Arizona. They're going to continue to fight this good fight because, frankly, David, it all comes down to elections.
Yes.
Everything. We are so right on so many issues, and there's things. Just as a simple windup, there is no majority of the people in the state of Illinois that possibly could want an automatic increase in their gasoline tax every 1st of July.
No way. And that's upon us. And we're here at July 1st again, within a couple months away, and it's going to recheck itself and increase again. And they never have to go back to the General Assembly.
What does that tell you about our supposed representatives?
Yeah. No, nobody would openly vote for that. And you're right, David. It is absolute craziness. However,
well, that's just an example of how it is that these people don't care about elections, David, which tells you how insecure elections themselves are.
Well, and we know that to be the case. Obviously, we're seeing that with election season. They keep expanding the dates. As I started beginning to say, Governor Pritzker gathered just for himself almost 600,000 ballots. So by that time, he already knew mathematically that there would have to be such a great percentage of voter turnout to overcome those ballots that he had won it before election day even happened. Actually, I think it was probably somewhere within the first 30 days of the voting season. They already knew that they had secured victory through vote by mail ballots, which is something that's hard to overcome. And we just can't give up on it. We've got to make sure that we're going out and trying to be actively as good, if not better, than they are. And it's going to take time.
Well, there's reason to compete on that level, but the fact is the question still arises: where did those 600,000 ballots come from, Dave?
Well, and that's what we have to get to. We have to get to a point where we can slow the process down enough to calculate. So we have to make elections at least closer. I mean, when they have a super majorities in the House and in the Senate, they have all of the statewide offices controlled. You know what? They do. They can dictate exactly where they want to go. And all we have is appeals or lawsuits where we try to bring them in front of a court where we do get favorable rulings at time until it gets kicked on and appealed. And then, of course, the process continues in perpetuity until the cows come home. But hey, David, I know we're up against the end of the show. We always appreciate you joining us, my friend, here at Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. Don't forget, David will be here on Tuesday morning with Kat at 7 o'clock. David, real quick, just give the call out where they can get a copy of your book or copies of your books.
Constitutional Soundbites is one. Creating the Declaration of Independence is the other. They're both available on Amazon, both in hard copy and in Kindle.
Well, thank you once again, David. And don't forget, up next is my friend Kevin across the way. I guess it's across the way that way. On Speechless from 3 to 5, he's going to hit upon the issue of transformation. So, David, we will look forward to hearing you on Tuesday here at Cities 92.9, the News and Talk of Bloomington Normal.
Terrific. Thanks so much, Dave. Great to be
All
with you.
right. Until next week, we will be sounding off. Peace be with all of you. And until tomorrow, we'll talk to you soon.